Hello, this is my ermine friend, Hermione Granger, and we're here to talk to you about the subtle art of taxidermy.
For humans.
What is the best way to write into my will that my children will receive no inheritance unless they have my dead body taxidermied and propped up in the corner of the living room? I wonder what Christmas is like at your house. Family. I'm not a lawyer or an estate planner, so I can't help you with the inheritance threat part, but let's discuss the pros and cons of taxidermying your body. Animal taxidermists skin the animal and then artfully reattach that skin to a mold. Part of the art is hiding all the seams required to do this, which is where fur, feathers, and scales really come in handy. Humans don't have any of those, so our bare, exposed skin ends up looking like a sad little naked mole rat. When you preserve human skin in this method, it ends up discolored and desiccated. So while an ermine looks like an ermine, a human would look like a horror show. It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. We have very few examples of human taxidermy, and the ones that we do have are basically just historical fails. 200 years ago, a southern African man was exhumed from his fresh grave, prepared by two famous French taxidermists, and displayed in Europe in the 1830s. Oh, colonialism. You're terrible. Here's what the man looked like, and as you can tell, as far as a taxidermied human resembling a real human, they didn't exactly nail it here. In 1916, the man was brought to Spain and put in a museum where he became known as El Negro, or the Black Man. When his skin would crumble, they would touch it up with black paint. Finally, in the 90s, there was talk of returning him back to Africa, but the townspeople and the museum didn't want to let him go, printing up t-shirts that said El Negro and passing out little chocolate candy versions of him to children at Easter. The mayor of the Spanish town said, I quote, "We have mummies and skulls and even human skins in the museum. What is the difference between those things and a stuffed African?" Oh, mayor. You're terrible. It wasn't until 2000 that the man was finally sent to Botswana for burial. This is such a bonkers story involving colonialism and international diplomacy, and it totally deserves its own video. The other famous example of human taxidermy is Jeremy Bentham, the British philosopher who died in 1832. 180 years later, he's still in a cabinet at the University College of London looking fabulous. Yeah, he looks awesome because he wasn't taxidermied. It's Bentham's skeleton, padded with hay, dressed in clothes with a wax head on top. They kept Bentham's real mummified head with the body for a while, but the students kept stealing it for pranks. Oh, students. You're terrible. Speaking of wax heads, if you want something that looks more like you can always go with a wax effigy. Think Madame Tussauds, Oprah, Celine Dion, One Direction, you! While we think of Madame Tussauds as being a waxy tourist trap, her history is dark. Born Marie Grosholz in 1761, she lived during the French Revolution. She was a wax modeler, but her subjects weren't pop stars. They were freshly severed heads from the guillotine. Her severed heads read like a who's who of the Revolution. Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, Robespierre. He was her friend, and she had to model his bleeding head on her lap. The original name of Madame Tussauds was Madame Tussauds' Chamber of Horrors. More recently, you can be plastinized, Gunther von Hagen's method of replacing water and fats in your body with plastics. This is probably as realistic as you're gonna get, but while you can donate your body to Gunther in Germany, he's probably not gonna come to Nebraska to do it in your living room. So now that we know that the skin can't be put together again to look like you, what if you just want some skin? There's a new company in Amsterdam that will preserve your tattoos. A pathologist removes the tattoo, post-mortem, of course, and sends it frozen or in formaldehyde to Europe to be preserved. This is not a brand new concept. Preserved tattoo skin can be found in museums in Krakow, Tokyo, London. Dr. Katsunari Kukushi of Tokyo University collects and preserves the tattooed skins of Yakuza, or the Japanese mafia. Then there's the even stranger history of anthropodermic bibliopagy, or using human skin to bind books. Sometimes it was done as a curiosity, sometimes to punish criminals, sometimes they were just a good way to remember you post-mortem. Come to think of it, when you're filling out the Los Angeles City tax form to open a new funeral home, they ask you this: are you engaged in the business of binding books? No, what? No, why would I? I'm a funeral home. Why would I? So again, sorry to disappoint on the whole taxidermy thing, but I am sure that there is something else to threaten your ungrateful children with. Do not give up. If you can't get enough about this topic and want to go on a deep dive, 2 recommendations. First, Order of the Good Death member Lindsay has a brand new, excellent channel called Under the Knife, where she talks this week about binding books in human skin, including all the pictures of the ones she's actually held in person. Then, an oldie but goodie, my friend from college, when we were young and so beautiful. Michael talks about human taxidermy and a bunch of other forms of human disposition on his channel Vsauce. Ask a Mortician is brought to you with support from People's Memorial Association and the Co-op Funeral Home, and donations from viewers like you. Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful?